everyone, this is Campbell-Birch and welcome to episode 4. Today's episode is all about crawls, which are not only a great way of travelling across the floor, they're also really useful for working on our articulation and our clarity. So they are a very useful step for you to have in your tool belt. Just before we get started today, I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone that subscribed to my YouTube channel and liked my page on Facebook. That support's really appreciated. If you haven't already and you wouldn't mind taking the time, please subscribe to my channel and check out Ryan Campbell-Birch Tap Dancer on Facebook. Give it a like. That support really goes a long way, and I thank you very much. Okay, let's get started. Right, so in today's crawl exercise, we're going to be looking at crawling in 8th notes, 16th notes, and in triplets. So we've got our 8th note, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 16th, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and our triplet, 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and a. So I'm going to be crawling in all 3 of those note values. Just before we start learning the exercises, a couple of things to watch out for in general with crawls. I tend to, when we're starting to set exercises and you're starting to get used to crawls, I would say go for the sound and the clarity over the travel. You can start pushing the travel afterwards once you're comfortable in the step and you've got it nice and clean. So keep everything nice and small and keep everything equal. So if we're going to be starting toe-toe and then going heel-heel, 1, 2, 3, 4, they all need to move the same amount. So if we could actually start on a diagonal, or we can start flat on. We do 2 diagonal lines, and then we want to mirror that with the heels, then again with the toes. Everything equal. So you're just drawing a little zigzag along the floor. If you end up doing one thing more than something else, so say my leading toe is always opening more than the other ones and the heels, that's going to send me in a circle. Or you might find that as you're moving across the floor, your feet start to separate. Again, that's going to be because something is either moving too much or not enough. So if you keep everything equal, same amount of movement, you should just track straight across the floor. Okay, so to begin with, we are going to look at our 8th note crawl and then our 16th note crawl. So our 16th is going to be double time of our 8th note. So I'm going to be starting with my left leg, which will be your right leg, and it's going to go toe-toe, heel-heel, and it's the outside leg or the leading leg that's going to start. So it's going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 bars. Then 2 bars of 16th notes, except we're going to stop on the last 4. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. You finished on the outside toe. Bring it back with the other one, starting with the 8th notes again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Stopping on the 4. Then you'll have the other leg free. Go again. So let's just do that once each way. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Double time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Other leg. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Cool. Let's turn that around and take a closer look. But we're going to do that 4 times. So to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left. Always 2 bars of 8th notes, followed by 2 bars of 16th notes, stopping on the second 4, ready to come back the other way. Here we go. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling comfortable with your 8th note and your 16th note. We're now going to take a look at the triplet crawl. So if you do feel like you need to spend a bit more time working on the 8th and the 16th note, skip back in the video or just take some practice in your own time. Get yourself comfortable, then come back to here and we can start working on the triplet. So we're going to start the same way. We're going to start with our 8th notes and we're going to do 2 bars again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. Then it's going to go into our triplets. Because we've got a 4-beat step, 1, 2, 3, 4, and our triplet goes in 3s, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and that's going to affect the crawl. When we were on 8th notes and 16th notes, that leading toe was always going to be on a beat. So on 8th notes, it's going to be doing the 1 and the 3. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and when we were on 16th notes, it just hit all the beats. 1E and a 2E and a 3E and a 4E and. So our 4-beat step fits perfectly inside our 8th and our 16th note. Now that we've got a triplet, the beats, the downbeat, is going to move around within the step. So we keep the same pattern, toe, toe, heel, heel, toe, toe, heel, heel. But over a triplet, that's going to be going 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So what I find useful is to know where the beat is going to land. So in this case, it's still the right toe leading. It's going to go toe and a heel and a heel and a toe and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1. So what I'm going to do when we do this exercise, I'm going to emphasize the downbeat. So it's clear for you guys where that is. You might find that you're not able to do that straight away. That's not a problem. In fact, it's probably better to actually learn this exercise just everything equal, everything on an even plane, so that you've just got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So you get a good sense of moving through the triplets. Then at a later date, maybe you want to start playing around with some accents. So we're going to do 2 bars of 8th notes into 2 bars of triplets. That's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now it's still finishing on the 4. It's going to be the inside toe that finishes on the 4. Then that one's going to start when we go on to 8th notes again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inside one finishes, goes again. Let's do that once each way. A good thing to do to help with your transition, as you're getting towards the end of the 8th notes, try counting the triplet to bring in the next crawl. So I'm going to do that for you this time. You go 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4. Cool. So just like we did last time, let's turn that around and we're going to do that 4 times. Right, left, left. Always 2 bars of everything. Finishing on the 4, which is going to be the inside toe. Head back again with that toe as it becomes the outside or the leaning leg. Here we go, 4 times. Okay, so hopefully you're feeling comfortable crawling in an 8th note, in a 16th note, and in a triplet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put all of those together, and we're going to do exactly like we've been doing before, just without a break in the middle. So we're going to do 8th notes into 16th notes 4 times, right, left, and then 8th notes into triplets 4 times, right, left. There shouldn't be any awkward transition here, because even when you're coming out of the 16th notes, you're going back into 8th notes like you were doing before, then you're going into your triplets. But just so we're clear, I'm going to do the last time, so I'm on my right, but that would be your left leg, 8th notes and 16th notes, coming back on the left, into my first set of triplets, just so we've got that transition. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, double time, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a 1, and a 2, and a 3, and a 4. Then you go back on the left, right and left again with your 8th notes and your triplets, then we're at the end. So we'll turn this around, we'll do 4 sets of each, first with our metronome, and then we'll do it a bit faster but with some music. Today I've chosen a classic song by Mr. Scruff, who's a great artist, some really cool music, so I hope you enjoy that music choice. Okay, here we go, let's turn it around. Okay, that's pretty much it for today. We've taken our crawls, we've crawled in 8th notes, 16th notes, and triplets. Just before we sign off, a couple of extra things that you can play around with. Think about your start point. we've always started with the toe that's leading. You could start with the heel, you could start with the other toe, or you could start with the other heel. And the same applies when you're coming back the other way. So you've always got 4 possible start points for your crawl in each direction. And that applies to all of them, your 8th, your 16th, your triplet. Another thing you can play around with is your accents. We briefly spoke about that with the triplet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. But you could apply accents anywhere. A nice place to do them is in your 16th notes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So as you get comfortable with the step, once you find you can just keep it going nice and smooth, then try dropping in some accents somewhere. See what you come up with. And again, if you come up with something that you like, send it in, take a video. I'd love to see it, it'd be awesome. That's it for today. I hope you've all found the crawls useful. As I said at the beginning, please subscribe to my channel to get all the latest episode releases, and a like on my Facebook page, Ryan Campbell-Birch Tap Dancer, would also be greatly appreciated. Until next time, see ya.